Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Trey's Table Talks. I just realized that I've been doing these table talks. I think this is the third one I've done. I've not been at anybody's table. Does that make it wrong? When we talk about integrity and we talk about being integral and honest and authentic, the fact that I'm not at a table to have a talk, is that correct? Is that a good thing to do? So I'm not in my office today as I normally would be. I had a meeting that lasted a little longer today than I expected, but it's um it's Memorial Day weekend and our office in Tumwater. Hey Tiana, she's so faithful. I appreciate her. She is such a JMC advocate. She worked for us for a small period of time until she went on to bigger and better things. So thank you for being on. As you come on, just say hello to us so we could see who's here. And we've been getting about 100 something views every week on our different series and different lives that we're doing. But today is Memorial Day, the start of Memorial Day weekend. We're in phase three. So I think people are going to take advantage of getting back to some type of normalcy pre COVID. I was just coming from Tacoma, just going from 72nd to 512, and it took me about 15 minutes, and that's like a mile long just because of the traffic, and then it broke up and then it started again. So I told my teammate, I said, I'm not going to make it down the Tumwater to start these tabletops on time. So I apologize. So here we are. I'm in my house. It's quiet. My godson and my daughter are quiet for now. Of course, they're just waking up because they don't have school today. So we let them have that today. But as today, we're going to talk about being the solution. So I don't know if any of you saw the report that King 5 News put out earlier this week or last week, I think it was. Yeah, last week. And I hadn't read it when I mentioned it even last week, but I read it this time. And there's a lot of things in there, you know. And it was essentially saying that the headlines: no bed, no blanket, social workers blow whistle on Washington forcing foster youth to sleep in cars, offices as punishment. Now, this is a very sensational story. And it really can. Hi, Tony. Tony is also one of our managers here. You guys share with people so we can get more folks. We actually got somebody that was interested in fostering this week. And we did a walkthrough of one of our foster parents. So yay! So we're slowly but surely more people are becoming a part of the village to care for these children. That's our number one thing. We want foster parents. We need parents. So King Five had some serious allegations in there, and some of it might be true. And I'm not discounting everybody's experience. That's their experience. That kids have had to stay in cars or even in the offices and things like that. And as a caregiver, I could see how that happens. But here's the thing: just on Monday, I had to go to my boy's house 10:45 at night because two of the kids were disrupting the entire house to where the other boys couldn't sleep, was being very disrespectful to the staff. And I went there to support my team. And I called the after hours people and I said, you guys may have to come and get them. Hey, Kathy. Kathy's in Florida with her grandbaby graduating. Um, you guys may have to come get this kiddo because he's doing all this gang stuff and want to threaten people, and we don't allow that. And he's talking about he's from Hilltop Crips, and not somehow these kids will claim to be from gangs and representing sets, and they ain't representing nothing. Boy, you from Kelso. You ain't from no Hilltop Crips. Go somewhere with that. Anyway, so 10:45 at night, I'm saying, listen, you guys may have to come get this child because he is really disrupting, and he done riled up this other kid. And so 10:45, 11 o'clock at night, if they had come and got him, the possibility of him having to stay in the office until they could get somebody else to take him late at night is very high. But this is the problem. And this is why when you read these stories, everybody says, oh my God, that's so terrible that DCYF is treating the people like that, that social workers are treating kids like that. But my question to you is, are you going to be a part of the solution, or are you going to just empathize with the problem? Are you going to be a part of the solution to where at 11 o'clock at night, when they have a child who is blowing out of who is disrupting placement or blowing out of their placement, can they call you at 11:30 at night and say, hey, can we bring this child to you because he's having a hard time right now? And the answer is no. There aren't enough safe homes and people who will take that heartstrings that they're being tugged at when they read articles that says that, the kids have to sleep in the office and make it miserable for them. When they read these articles, they get angry. People, you get angry. I read this, I get upset. You read the article, you go, oh, this is, somebody said, they were quoted, we're not going to reward their tantrums. And so you read that, you're going, why would somebody say that about a child? But my question is, are you going to be a part of the solution? I have 10 beds available at JMC. That's it. With a few others coming down the pipeline, because there are some people who are saying, I want to be a part of the solution. I don't want to just read about this and say, this is horrible that's happening to kids. I want to be able to say, you know what? I can provide a safe place for these kids. Because the truth of the matter is, they don't have any place to go. And here's the other part. This article was talking about um, that the kids would refuse placement and things like that. And we've had it several times, where our kids, a child from late at night, they're getting placed at our home in Yelm. And Yelm is dark because it's in the country. you know it's a nice home. It's well maintained. It's very kid friendly, very teenage. You go on our website, you can check it out, jmckids.com. It has a welcoming staff. We've had it to where staff has come out of the house to greet and welcome the child, and the youth will refuse to come out of that car. And the worker is left for hours, sometimes for hours, waiting for this child to make a decision on if they're going to come in or not. And we've had it where sometimes the worker is like, after 2 hours to sit in the car with the child, waiting for them to decide if they're going to come, which is so interesting because you're 13 and you have a choice. I mean, like, I'm sorry, when I was 13, I didn't have no choices and stuff. This is what you're going to do because I said so, you know? So now, DCYF, they want to respect the child's voice and really minimize and mitigate a lot of their PTSD and things like that, because placement and being going from home to home is PTSD and traumatic in itself. So they'll sit there and give them a choice. So it may be 2 hours later that the workers sit in the car with the child in the back seat or whatever, refusing to come into placement. And I'm sorry, JMC, we have staff that cares, kids that have been there, and if they have to go back into a group home setting, they are always wanting to come back to us because we do things with these kids. We interact with them. We take them places. We discipline them in the sense of, if you're going to act like that, here's the consequence. If you do good behavior, here's the rewards. That's what we do. We're trained by the best. Scott Hanauer. He's one of the best clinicians you can ever have, who really understands the different trauma that these kiddos have experienced. And he's really empowered us and given us some tools to help with that. So we have a good environment. I'm very proud of our staff. And, I saw this representative, this Republican representative from Port Orchard, who I will be reaching out to, who was kind of dogging group homes. Well, we have a very safe group home. I'm not sure which one she's talking about, but I'm going to be reaching out to her because as a public servant, you want to be careful about making broad statements and painting a brush over everybody, because we're not the only safe place that these kids can go, whether it's a group home or foster home. There's plenty of others, but we need more. We need more. So when I read an article like King Five saying that the social workers are making them stay in the offices and things like, listen, the social workers don't want to be up in there with those kids either at 1 o'clock in the morning. They would prefer to bring the children to a safe home and go on about their business and do their job, whatever they got to do. I had to also, the same kiddo who was cutting up on Monday and was escalating in his behavior, escalated again on Wednesday. My after hours team, Region 5, whoop, whoop, Tacoma, Pierce County, Kitsap, we're great. We have Region 5 and Region 6. They are the best that we work with. They're the people that we work with all the time. We get Region 4 kiddos as well, which is the King County area. So this, I called after hours and they sent somebody over to work with her. Hi, Tanika. They sent somebody over just to sit with him to keep him calm. And he was able to stay quiet and escalate and calm down after he had ran through the neighborhood, hitting folks' fences and being all disruptive, cussing everybody out, said some very threatening things to one of the younger children. That put the other child in an unsafe spot. But After Hours was there to support us. And I appreciate that so much. So when I see this article about what the state isn't doing, and Department of Children, Youth, and Family needs to do this and that. Everybody says that. But you know what? If you, who is able bodied, if you have an extra bed, or if you don't have an extra bed, but you have space to get an extra bed, we can even help with that. If you are willing to help or even be the emergency placement so that when they do blow out, because kids get upset, they get triggered, they've dealt with so much. These kids have gone through some stuff that is unimaginable. They've gone through some things, okay? But if the social workers can call you at 12 o'clock at night, midnight, and say, hey, I got this 13-year-old who's having a rough night, can I bring him to your house? And you say, yeah, I got a bed for them. Guess what? They're not even waiting around in the office. They're not waiting around in the office. Yay, Tony's going to be a foster parent. And we have parents. I was just talking to somebody today, talking to them about fostering. I said, listen, they have this big old house, 4 bedrooms, one person. I said, listen, you can do respite care where you just take the child for a weekend to give foster parents a break. That is so helpful. Or be an emergency placement for that child. There's a couple people that the department works with, a few people who are just that. They just provide a safe spot for the night. And that's huge in itself. So my thing is, and I don't mean to go on here just ranting, but you can't read these articles, get upset with DCYF, talk about the foster care system being broken. Yeah, the foster care system is broken. It is. The people working in foster care will tell you that it's broken. Anybody working with government is going to tell you the system is broken. But that still doesn't mean that these kids don't need a place. We have to make concessions, and we have to make things work when things are broken that affect us as caregivers. But I'm not going to lessen, and my team, we're not going to lessen our care of these children just because we didn't get um the child's clothes or something like that in time, because they got disrupted from one place and the after hours person wasn't able to get all their clothes at one time. We're going to make sure the child has what they need. So the system is broken, but that doesn't mean the child doesn't need care. So I just want to encourage you when you read articles like this. Now, there are some cases that are not good, but there are a lot of social workers who are doing the right thing, who truly care about these kids, who truly want them to be in a good spot. We deal with them all the time. If I sat here, I could start naming the ones that are my favorite, that have the tougher kids who have more challenging behaviors, but they will stick with those kids, and they will believe in those children to where they become the constant for that child, especially when you get a kiddo who's been raised in the system. We had a boy with us 2 weeks ago been in the system. He's now 15, been in the system since he was 4 years old. The state has been his parents. And each time he gets placed, his behaviors escalate. He did pretty good with us for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then again, when you start threatening other children, and now you're not keeping yourself safe and things like that, then that's when I have to say, okay, JMC doesn't have everything that you need. We'll ask for you to be placed elsewhere. But we work with these kids. We come up with different solutions. We go until we can't go. We stick to it. My late pastor would say, do you have that stick to itness? And that's what these kids need. They need someone who's going to provide them safety, stability, and just believe in them and stick with them when they're having a bad day, when they're being challenged. Yes, these kids are going to challenge you, but what child isn't? Now, if you have raised children or you've been around kids, that's what they do. They push the envelope. They're not going to listen to what they need to do. But it isn't that how you were? You was like that. My 9-year-old, she asked a bunch of questions. She always got a comment for something. But her dad said, that's how I was. My mother-in-law said, that's how her dad was. Well, I can't even get mad at her because she's voicing herself. Now, my job is to say when it's appropriate, when it's not. But I want her to keep her voice. You understand? So you have the ability. You have the ability to change the story from a child sleeping in the office, having to go to a hotel, to they came into your home. They receive love and care from you and your family. Because some of you have your own village already. I have a village of people that any child that would come into my home, they're going to get not just me, they're going to get grandparent, they're going to get uncles and cousins, sister, brother, everything. And some of you have that. So instead of reading these King 5 articles, and again, I'm not discrediting it. I'm not discrediting it. I'm not saying that it's not true because unfortunately it is. I'm trying to give you context as to why some of the not trying to justify it, but giving you some context so that you can understand that it's no social worker's choice, the after hours worker's choice, just to leave a child in the office sleeping with a bed and blanket on a cot or on the floor. That is no social worker's choice to do that. They would prefer to drive 2 hours to bring the child to a safe place. And why do I know that? Because they do it with us all the time. I have had children from Vancouver. The home is in Tacoma, and that after hours worker will come way up to Tacoma to get that child a safe spot and drive back in the middle of the night because we had an opening for that. But we had a home, a space for them. I only have 10 beds. Right now, 9 out of 10 of those beds are full. One is leaving. I've already gotten the new report for a new kiddo. That's that's how things are going. I'm taking just a little bit more time on this one today. So it's just, one child leaves, and before the child comes out the door, a lot of times we already got information about another child because the need is so great, especially down Thurston County South, Clark County, Lewis County, those cities, Chehalia, Chehalis, Centralia, Kelso, Shelton, Vancouver, Aberdeen. And it's better for children to stay in their community. We need foster parents in Vancouver area. We need foster parents in Aberdeen. We need foster parents in Kelso because you got a kiddo who's used to being in Kelso, their family's in Kelso, their bio family's in Kelso. Something's happened. Maybe mom, unfortunately, drugs have overtaken her. Dad is not around. This is a very common story. And now these children or a child has to be taken out of the home. And where's the place that has a spot for them? JMC or there are a lot of other foster homes and group homes, and they're not in their community. But if they don't have a spot for them at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, the child sits in the office with the social worker. Imagine listen, a lot of us have had to adjust to being at home, working remotely with our children, learning school remotely. And that has been with our own biological children. And some of us we are ready to lose our minds. Like, are they going back in September? Yes. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so glad that they're going back in September because I can't do it. But so imagine, my husband just walked in. He's so awesome. Imagine the social workers having to do that. And guess what? They're not dealing with just one child who's sitting in the office. They're dealing with 2 or 3 kids in the office because they have to find placement for those 2 or 3 children. And they still got like 30 other kids on their caseload that they have to see after. But if they had some homes, they could call and say, placement desk can call and say, hey, Joe Blow, I got a 12-year-old, I got a 7-year-old. Can they come stay with you? Absolutely, I got space for them. That's what they want to hear. Then that way, nobody has to be in the office. Nobody has to be in a hotel room. And yes, you're going to get those kids who I've had teenagers tell me they love being in the hotel room. And that's okay. But you can be the hotel room. If that's the case, that means that they don't really expect much from you. And maybe that's all they need. They just need a bed. They don't want a parent. They don't need any guidance. They just want a bed. So maybe that's all you can do. There's so many ways. So many ways that you can have impact on these kiddos. So I want to encourage you to be the solution. Help rewrite the story from what we read last week on King 5:2. These kids have homes. They're stabilized. They're now amazing adults. They're now responsible adults who have now reaching back, some of them, to help other foster children. All right. So James, he's here. We're excited. We got one of our parents is going to be becoming licensed here. We'll be submitting their application in the next couple of weeks. We're very excited about that. And another family has already submitted their application. So things are happening. Will you be a part of the solution? Will you help rewrite these kiddos' story? Not the negative, sensational one, but will you be a part of that? We need trusted adults. I'm a trusted adult. They know when Mr. Lane come in, that it's a wrap. Like, they start asking me all these questions. They love to have their cell phone. The girls always want to reason with me about their cell phones. We don't allow the cell phones. And I know some people may not have a problem with that, but it's a matter of safety because a lot of these children are inappropriate with their cell phones. You may say, oh, that's rude and all that kind of stuff, and they need their freedom. Just like you need to be monitoring yours at your house. We monitor the kids. And guess what I always tell them? You've been here 30 days without your cell phone and you're still alive. Oh my God. How did that happen? So thank you again for joining me. I'm going to read some of these comments. Let's see. Meet our children in their community. We definitely need them. Whatever area. If you're in Kelso, if you're in Aberdeen, come on, reach out to us. Even if it's not JMC, we'd love to have you a part of our village. We're small. We're new as far as this child placement agency. We're definitely in the space of fostering and taking care of kiddos, and definitely the ones who have more challenging behavior. So we'll support you. But there's a lot of great agencies out there who will do just that and even more for you. Be a part of the solution, okay? Be a part of the solution, all right? Thank you so much. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Have fun. Still stay safe, mask up when you can. Keep your distance so that my son just found out that he was exposed to somebody at school with COVID, and he has to be quarantined. He doesn't have any symptoms, thank God, but he has to be quarantined. So that means he's going to have to be here with me. Oh boy. But so he's in his room staying quarantining for us, but thankfully he doesn't have any symptoms. So thank you again for your time. I was a little longer today. I try to be done in 15 minutes, but I wanted to really, really encourage you. Be a part of the solution. Rewrite these kids' stories. Be a part of the solution. Thank you for your time, all right? Have a great day.